Hello and welcome to EdTech Pancakes, a podcast by DreamApply about paradigm shifts in education. In this episode, we have actually traveled to Hungary. We're in the heart of Budapest at Corvinus University, and with me are two amazing student recruitment and admissions officers, Viktória and Adriana. Would you please introduce yourselves and your role at Corvinus University?
Sure thing. I'm Viktória. Hello. I'm an international student recruiter executive at Corvinus University of Budapest.
And I'm Adriana Villalobos. I come from El Salvador. I'm not Hungarian, but I'm an international admissions executive at Corvinus University of Budapest.
Let's talk a little bit about your journeys. How did you come to work in this field to begin with? And how does it feel to work in admissions and international admissions specifically?
Well, for me personally, it's been a journey for sure. I was looking for my path for a while. I'm going to be 30 really soon, so I'm still young to find my path. I always knew that I wanted to do something international, so that's why I have the international relations degree. But I went from marketing, from coordinating. So I tried several things before I ended up here at Corvinus. This is the first time I'm working in education, but I always wanted to work with people with purpose to help others. And I think education and recruiting international students to a foreign country to help them to achieve their dreams is something that fulfills my requirement when it came to a job.
Beautiful. Adriana?
In my case, well, as an international student myself, it's pretty rewarding to be on the back end of on the other side of the coin. I came here to Hungary to study, actually. I studied international relations. That's how we met with Vicky. And similar to her, I knew that I always wanted to do something with, more in the international area. So I actually worked in education for a while as an intern in my previous university. I was in the Erasmus office. So I have some experience, with international students and this type of area. And now I start working here as an international admissions executive. And I can say it's a very rewarding job. I really like helping the students because it's not just about, handling the paperwork and handling the applications. It's also about helping them. And like Vicky said, you're a step on their journey to make their dream come true, to come abroad and study. I've also had the opportunity to travel with Vicky. Some months ago, we went to Istanbul, and it was a very nice experience to get to meet all these potential applicants, students, and also getting to know another country. It was really nice. So in short, I think it's a very rewarding job, and I get to learn a lot of things every day. So I like it a lot.
Beautiful. What would you say is most misunderstood about this area of work, this being admissions management and student recruitment overall?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, recruitment, admission, and marketing works so different at every university and every institution. Some don't even have recruiters like me. They only have marketing and admission officers. So it always comes to an expo where we go to, we get to meet a lot of people, and they might do the same thing. They are there to recruit students, but their job, their daily life is so much different than mine or Adriana's. So I think this is a sort of new field. In Hungary, for sure, internationalization is a new field in Hungary. Therefore, the jobs and the responsibilities are as well. I think this is the diversity of the job and the institutions when it comes to responsibilities.
What would you say is most misunderstood about international admissions or student recruitment in general?
I would say that whenever we go to an event, an expo, a conference, we meet people who are working in the same field, but they still have a very different approach or task in their daily life. So here at Corvinus, we have admission, we have marketing and recruitment, but some universities, they only have admission and marketing. So the tasks and the responsibilities can be so different, even within Hungary or in other countries as well. So I would say just simply how we approach recruitment can be sometimes misunderstood in a way that, and I meet with a person, they are there for the same reason, but their lives are just so much different than our teams.
So it's a lot more complex than people think it is.
Yes, I would say so.
Thank you. Mariana, what would you say? What's most misunderstood about this field?
I would say my answer is very similar to hers, actually. I would say from the admissions point of view, I think maybe some people misunderstand the process as more simple than it actually is. There are many stakeholders, many different steps in the process. You know, it's not as simple as you apply and you're admitted. I wish it was like that, but it's not. There are other departments involved, like the recruitment. Like that's the very first step, and then you have the admissions department, which is me and my colleague, and we have to do all these things, all these checkups of the documents or all the other necessary steps. Then there's other stakeholders such as the program directors or, you know, because they have to conduct like the exams and other important steps like this. So there are many other stakeholders that we have to take into account. Like Vicky said, it's a joint effort, I think, in order for everything to work, you know, the admissions, the recruitment, even the marketing it depends on us as well. So I think that maybe some people tend to oversimplify the whole admissions and recruitment procedure. Yeah.
And the landscape of it is changing so quickly as well, right? I mean, now we have so many choices of universities. A lot of people may think that maybe they don't need higher education. Yeah. Compared to, let's say, 20, 30 years ago. And you can study online, you can just ask AI. So essentially, there are more factors, variables that influence the choices of students. So with this in mind, how do you think modern educational institutions should optimize their process to attract students and attract the right students? Because it's not just a numbers game, right? I mean, it's when you admit someone to your educational institution, it has a major influence on their lives. So what would you advise to modern educational institutions in terms of genuinely making sure to attract more students, but also the right students?
Yeah, I think we live in an age when digitalization is a thing. So everything is the best if it's online because that's the most available. So when you start with the application, we get the questions that do I have to travel to Hungary? Of course, you don't have to anymore. Everything is online. You can apply, take the entrance exam online, and you just only come here when your semester will start. Of course, online education is still in the mind of people, and the best if education is accessible for everyone. But of course, myself, I would love to have online education because it's just so easy to, even for working from home, so easy that you don't have to travel to another country or just to another city. But I know that education on spot gives you much more than just the paper at the end. Mm-hmm. The community, the personal relationships with the teacher, with your peers. So it's a really hard game to make it accessible for everyone, but still keep it as it is. It's not easy these days to give it to everyone. And of course, online application is not easy for everyone. You also experience that internet is not stable all the time for students. They can be great students, but they have these things in their life that just makes it even the application harder. And maybe what we can do as an admission, as a university, just to help students be flexible with our requirements or not with the rules, because of course policies have to be kept, but to help whenever we can.
Yeah, I do think that we should use all these, this digitalization to our favor in order to make application easier for, the application process easier and more accessible to all prospective students. I believe that in order to attract like the best, I don't want to say the best, but the most suitable applicants, I think that, like Vicky's saying, we should make it more flexible for them, give them the chance to apply at their best convenience, whether that's through online or in-person education.
That brings us to software and tools. I want to ask you, what do you think is the role of the right software and tools in admissions? And Corvinus University uses DreamApply to optimize its admissions. So if you could also comment about DreamApply's value for Corvinus University, but also considering your unique roles in student recruitment and admissions.
So I think I would connect back with the first question that even for students it can be harder to understand that what my role as a recruiter and Adriana's role as an admission officer will be in their journey, who they should reach out to, where they should send documents, that sort of thing. And DreamApply is a good place to start. That's our main platform for application, where the admission officer will check all your documents, give you feedback on your application, and I should be really just at the very beginning, leave some notes if it's necessary. But this platform can centralize and make our lives easier in recruitment and admission, to see one person's profile at one place, and we can each contribute to that application on our ways.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that the process of recruitment and admissions is already complex as it is, but with the use of DreamApply, it's easier. It's easier to not only talk to the applicants, but also to have like more efficient internal communication with other departments. So yeah, I think that's the biggest part.
Let's talk a little bit about Hungary as a study destination and Corvinus University specifically. What do you think makes Hungary as a desirable study destination?
Well, I could say a lot of things as a recruiter, but Adriana, she's an international student herself, so maybe you should give a first perspective on this one.
I think that Hungary is like an attractive destination for studying abroad for a variety of reasons. Personally, as an former international student, I chose Hungary there's a lot of quality education here. Many universities are accredited and they offer quality degrees and programs in English as well, which is a very big advantage for foreign students, because, well, if you don't speak Hungarian, well, that's not really an issue because you can pursue your studies in English fully. Another big advantage of Hungary, specifically Budapest, is it's a very international city. A lot of international students come here, so you can meet people from all around the world. Hungary is also, very favorably located in Europe. So if you're interested in traveling or for other purposes, just working after you're graduating or just internships or Erasmus exchanges, this is a very suitable location to be in. I also think that it's compared to other countries, maybe, the US or like Western European countries, I think it's an affordable country to study in, which as a student is, makes it even more attractive to come study here. Because, as a student, you already have like all these costs. So it makes it easier or better if you live in a city which is affordable. I think it's the combination of, the location, affordability, quality of education as well, all the perspective, all the opportunities that you can have here. I think it makes it a very nice destination. And not to forget that Hungary is a very beautiful country. You cannot get bored in this country, specifically in Budapest. It's a very great city for international students, for sure.
Thank you. Viktória, what makes Hungary and Corvinus specifically an attractive study destination?
So in fact, we have the first international rector at Corvinus University, and one of his main objectives to make Corvinus University more international, put it out there, have more students, great students, and to really care about the students who are coming here to study.
Beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about the efficiency of the student recruitment and admissions process in general. I mean, you guys already use DreamApply, so you have a competitive edge, but what advice or actionable tips do you have to admissions officers that are seeking to save time and work smarter, not harder?
Well, I think just to try out the features of DreamApply, because there's so many that at Corvinus we can't really use, but maybe your institution can, because the process is more suitable for that certain feature. But there's so many integration, automation that you can integrate and make your life much, much more easier, like in terms of mail merges or just notifying students or just to keep track for marketing purposes.
Beautiful.
I think another very important part of, making it more efficient is not only becoming familiar with the features of DreamApply, but I think it's also very important to make a clear division. Like, for example, within your admissions department, it's very important to establish who does what, because it's not only important to know how to use the tools, but like who's going to use them, because as I've said before, the admissions process can be very complex, very long, many parts of it. So I think that it's a good tip for other admissions officers to have clear communication within your own department in order to, establish who does what, make it easier for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about the well-being of admissions officers? We know that actually well-being is what genuinely leads to long-term productivity. Do you guys have any individual hacks or techniques or a piece of understanding that has worked for you?
Well, I think each month brings some other new challenges when it comes to that. I think the best is if you are really on good terms with your team, you are really not friends and family, but you really like to work with each other. So any amount of application can be handled if your team can communicate with each other, and we can figure out who does what and just give each other a hand when it's necessary to just really help each other when we have some heavy load.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think that, sometimes if it's like, too many applications or, just too much workload, it does help a lot when you can count on your colleagues, especially if you're friends with them or just on very good terms with them. So I think that does play a role in the well-being of admissions or recruitment officers, because, you spend most of your time here at work. So you better make sure that you get along and that you communicate effectively with everybody. I also think that, it is way better when you have tools like DreamApply to make your work easier. So, if you have a good mix of a good relationship with your colleagues, good tools to work with, I think it's completely doable. It's completely manageable for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. And if there was one piece of advice that you would have our listeners, who are primarily people interested in student recruitment, admissions, and higher education marketing, what would that piece of advice be that they walk away with?
Well, if anyone's thinking working in education, in admission recruitment, I think this is a job when you really have, it's something that you need a sort of passion. Even if you're an introvert like me, this can be a really good job to work with people, to work with good colleagues. So if you do this with passion, it can be hard, but still just go into it because it can be rewarding anyway.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Vicky. I think it's a very good job to have, like very, very rewarding. You get to learn many things beyond the education area. For example, you learn a lot of soft skills that are very necessary, not only for this type of job, but like also for your personal life. So my tip, if you're considering a job in recruitment or admissions and like you're still trying to decide whether you should do it or not, I would say definitely go for it, because it's not only rewarding, but it can be challenging, but in the good way. It's not like the bad type of challenge. I think it's very good. So I think you should totally go for it. Just the leap of faith.
Cultural wise, we can learn a lot about other countries' habits, or just general think how the bank works in different countries. So random things you would never think about. So
definitely.
We really learn a lot.
Beautiful. That's the value of international education, isn't it? It's not just the core.
Even we learn.
As I said before, I learn something new every day, whether it's about the diploma system in some random country or I don't know. Like it's really interesting, I think. For somebody who likes to learn, it's definitely a good job.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Viktória. Thank you, Adriana.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you guys for listening. This is EdTech and Pancakes, a podcast by DreamApply. You can learn more on dreamapply.com. There are a lot of resources for admissions officers and student recruiters. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back with another episode soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.